Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Never Open Podcast. The podcast open to everyone, especially my wife, who has the bloody patience of a goddamn saint. She does. Mr. Andy just witnessed it. My name is I'm the host of the Never Open Podcast, and with me, as always, is Mr. Guy. Say hello, Mr. Guy.
Hey, yeah, we had a little technical issue before the show, and it was pretty fun. So, and yes, Charity was wonderful. She broke the ice. It was awesome. So,
Yeah. You probably even heard me say Andy's about to see me chuck a childhood tantrum in a minute. But, you know,
seen it before.
I think,
you know.
You've heard many of them. Is he talking about this still? That fucking show happened hours ago and I've been asleep.
Hours, weeks ago.
Shut up about Tongaloa.
You can't stop bringing them up.
It's the first time in a while. But yes.
You know, he has not been around in a while. I think he got hurt. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh, but it's kind of funny. And Hikuleo never showed up, you know, so
Could have been working. I was about to ask you what Tam is doing, but then I realized I don't
where's
care.
He at? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing either. So I think that like bloodline thing, they cooled that off, and I guess when CM Punk came back and then all this other shit, they got to have all these other spots. There's only so many spots, which is why when these legend guys come back, it's kind of like, oh, cool, good to see you. Oh, shit. Main event.
Yeah, John Cena's back. And it's that old thing of like, hey, it's WrestleMania. Oh, I'm looking forward to my spot. Yeah, you're cut because The Rock and Cena are back. Oh, but I've been here all year working my ass off. Yeah, fuck you.
Down the card you go.
They've had that problem for well over a decade.
Yeah, it's always been a problem, you know.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, you know, and probably if people were able to unretire in sports, it would happen all the time. It's probably happening in boxing all the time, you know. I'm sure, but like it's usually in individual sports where it happens. It's never in team sports where guys come out of retirement to come back and do something spectacular. Usually they suck.
Yeah, the triumphant return of Michael Jordan. How'd that go down? Remember that?
Yeah, he played baseball. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Today was opening day for the Cincinnati Reds, and the Cincinnati Reds lost opening day 6-4, and it was a nail biter until the last inning when one of the Reds pitchers came in I've never heard of, and he just starts throwing meatballs over the plate, and the other team's like, "Oh, I'll hit those," boink, and hits him in the goddamn river. Reds lose. Gotta win opening day. Gotta win opening day. Opening day is like homecoming. You gotta schedule a jobber team to come in, right? Like, like the worst team in the league. The MLB's gotta do that.
Match.
You know? They fucked it up.
Who are they playing next year? Oh, the opening day against the Yankees. Oh, fuck. I don't know. I know they're a big team, so I have to assume they're.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. This is interesting and Japan related. For some reason, and I think this is cool, but kind of like I get why people are pissed because Americans don't like this shit. It's baseball's America's game. They can't play that over there, you know. And so what happened this year is that the Dodgers and a couple other teams went to Japan, and maybe it's just two teams, and they at least had one or two exhibitions against Japanese teams, which is awesome. They like had spring training games against Japanese teams. That's cool. The fans came out. But then they had the first game of the MLB season. I think it was at the Tokyo Dome, or it was at one of the domes. And I think. And anyway, that's just so they had the first game of the year in Japan. And, you know, I thought it was really cool, but people were grumbling about it big time.
Well, here's fucking America. Don't call your fucking finals the World Series if you don't want to have games played in the world.
Yeah, good call. It is the World Series. That's amazing.
Fucking hell.
Next time I hear somebody bitching about that.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yes, this is NeverRealm, everyone. We're going to talk about whatever the hell we please. And if we mention something that you aren't caught up on or up to date on, we're going to spoil it. So be warned, because that's just how we roll. And I don't want to have half this podcast and be spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Here's your alert. You've been alerted.
Spoiler alert for the Reds game. Sorry. But yeah, we don't spoil each other though, typically. Not on purpose. So
No.
it's like we don't spoil each other, but we'll do it to you. So out there.
That's right.
listening.
I think I did one of my rare New Japan spoilers because I just thought usually he's watched the show by now. I think I just spoiled like Ishii shaking Taichi's hand. And look, what was worse, me spoiling it for you or Chris doing his fucking Bobby Heenan impression?
Yeah, they were both bad, but I mean, I don't really care when it's you. It's okay, you're allowed.
Yeah.
So
I'm not getting paid for it, and I didn't mean it. Whereas like he's oh my god,
doing it on purpose. Yeah, well, let's
Chris
not
the
talk
Brain
about that.
Charlton.
There is like, I mean, I guess Sakura Genesis is coming up. There's some shows, guys are going to wrestle. It's guys that are wrestling each other in New Japan Cup. They're still mad. It's like that's what's going on. So, and then Goto's going to wrestle David Finlay and hopefully die in the ring.
Yeah. Well, look.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. Sorry.
No, we don't die. Not literally die.
His career. His career.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. We better stop talking about wrestling because Charity will be listening to this and she'll be like, bored now.
She's like, talk more about how awesome I am. Like,
yeah, that's right. The patience of a saint. Yeah. No, she's had to deal with like some increased energy levels and stuff lately. So no, she's awesome. You saw an example of that before we started recording.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious.
But all right, since it's NetherRealm and people have probably seen the good old logo of what the show's about, I am up to date on a show that came out this year. I know, right? Can you believe that shit? It had to have one of my favorite costumed punchers in it. That's what I call them now. People in costumes that just punch people.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm 42 years old, but what do I do with my comic reading time most of the time? I like to see people in colorful costumes punch other people in colorful costumes.
You're kind of imagining it as it's happening, right? It's like that's one cool thing about a comic book is you're still like using your imagination a lot, which I like. So
yeah. So I'm up to date on Daredevil. So I've watched 6 episodes.
6 episodes. So he's back in the suit now, right? So
yeah. At least I didn't wait till episode 8 for that, right?
Well, they weren't going to do that. He is supposed to be reborn. They got to have that happen before the end of the season, right? I like that show a lot. I think it's pretty good. I know that you had some reservations because like they killed everyone's favorite character or something in the first episode. But
yeah,
I am sad that Vampire Lady's gone too. But
dude,
but they'll tie that up. That'll come back at some point, because they haven't really talked about why yet. I don't think so.
Look, Deborah Ann Woll is a good actor. That's fine, but she's also absolutely stunning, and I would like to look at her for an hour every week.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that? No, we got to have her leave the she's
He has a new love interest, which I like her too. But I mean,
yeah.
They could both be around. I mean, there's enough Murdoch to go around. I mean, come on.
Right? Man. He's leading a double life, for God's sakes. Make it a triple.
Double, and he's Matt Murdock. I mean, what else can he do?
Yeah. Yeah, let him triple down on all this shit.
I mean, by the way, he always has an excuse, by the way. So, didn't know it was you. Sorry. It's like.
I'm blind. Come on.
What did you think of the bank robbery thing? I thought that was it reminded me of a 90s action movie where like it's like a bunch of jobbers and Sylvester Stallone in a bank and the robbers come in. Well, who's going to step up? It's going to be, you know what I mean? It was like something like that. And but it was kind of fun. I liked it, even though it was stupid at times.
Oh yeah. And oh yeah. Like, all right, so there's nitpicks you can make about it. Like one of those nitpicks being like the cops going like, well, you picked a really good day for this, for us to get you the ATVs you want because I've got to do the phone thing. Otherwise you won't get that they're on the phone. Obviously people on the video will be appreciative of that. But You know, but because all the roads are blocked off because of St. Paddy's Day. And I'm like, these robbers are fucking stupid. Like, why wouldn't you plan it so you do it on a different day so, you know, you don't... Yeah.
But that
So
seems like a good day to do it because the roads are blocked off. You know what I mean? So I think
but that cuts
they
off
don't-
escape routes.
but I don't think they want. I think that helps keep the cops from moving around. And it seemed to me that they were just following some plan. They weren't even they were there to get some jewel or something, but they were also there to do something else that we don't know about yet because they, you know, like they were talking to someone. It's like, oh, the boss tells us to do this. Doesn't matter. We got to make it look like we're robbing the bank or something like that. So there's something else going on with that.
Yeah, they just wanted they just wanted to get into this lockbox. We don't know whose lockbox it was,
Right? Yeah.
or who it was for.
It's like a whole separate episode, which I like that about the show. The show does it. It kind of goes off on a little tangent over here, but that's got to be part of the whole thing. It's got to be.
All right. So every time they show Matt Murdock using his super senses, they only ever show him using his hearing.
That's true.
All right. So, he's like using his super hearing to hear where this criminal's walked off. And he used his super hearing to also know that there was a swap with the jewels. And I'm like, this guy's got super smell too, right? Like, he can sniff this shit. Like, he's got tracking abilities like Wolverine or something like that. Like, he could just hunt them down with his nose.
But how do they show that? Is that like it's like nose cam? Do we get a camera shot from his nose?
All you need to do is like do a zoom up of his face, and it's got like him doing the fucking bewitched like nose tweak.
Yeah, that's it. And makes the noise.
And then he looks in the direction of the smell.
Yeah,
he's looking in the direction of the sounds anyway. Like,
but maybe for him, you know how like smell and taste are like really like intertwined.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can taste the smell and vice versa. Maybe that's what he's like hearing and smelling is like for him. It's like
you're reminding me of the meme that has the lead singer of Slayer on it, and it's like someone like the meme is like, my teacher, you can't hear pictures. And the picture is just the guy from Slayer. And, you know, you can hear that. Damn, you can hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Memes are always the funniest when you explain them.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I can't exactly show it to you right now. And people might not. Yeah, I know.
But, you know, an interesting thing about a meme is it is like a multiple way to communicate. Like when you see it, you react to it and you see and feel and hear things. It's kind of neat, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like Matt Murdock does when he smells and hears at the same time. So that's what I'm saying. So.
No, I have to admit, like, first, like, I'm starting to be like, all right, I get it. Kingpin's going through some problems, and he's a douchebag. I get it.
A little bit much, yeah.
All right. We know he's just going to melt down. Just let him do it already. Like, I'm ready. We're ready for it. And then it happened. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
that was kind of worth it. Yeah.
When he was in therapy with his wife, we could have just got rid of that. We didn't need that, you know, but I get why they did it, you know.
It's very Kingpin, though, because it's not enough for him. Oh, we need therapy? Okay. Literally in a city with probably 1 million therapists. I'm going to choose the one Matt Murdock's dating.
Right.
And you fucking know he knows.
That's right.
You know he knows.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's going to find out. He always does. Like, he might... Like, he'll use his super hearing or something, super smell that he never uses. He'll use it one time and smell Kingpin's aftershave in the fucking, office or something.
He should be, what's the little dude, the sommelier or whatever it's called, the wine taster guy? He should be the best in the world at that. That would be awesome. Dude. Instead of a lawyer, he's that. That would be a great, come on, man. Let somebody give me the book, you know?
I want Matt Murdock to taste the wine and be like, I don't think the Frenchman took his shoes off or washed his feet when he stomped on the grapes. I can smell it. There's taste of fermented toe jam in this.
Well, imagine if that's the case. He has a super, I love that, the super taste. He could taste someone's blood and know, like, if they're sick or not, or know what they had to eat that day, or know who they're related to, you know? Okay.
Oh!
See?
Hey, Matt, I don't have enough money for familytree.com or where the fuck it is. Can you?
Here's some blood. take a little. 23andMe's out of business, but Matt Murdock, you know, blood taster is fucking on the table. That's great.
I do like that all this stuff, and he's like, you know what? I'm not putting the costume on. This one young lady goes missing, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm putting the costume on, and shit's getting punched in the face.
Yeah. And it's at the same time, the parallel, they're both freaking out. They're both, you know, beating someone to death and for different reasons, you know. That was cool.
Oh, have you noticed? This is another reason I really like Born Again. Every time Kingpin and Matt Murdock have a fight, they will do the New Japan thing, right? New Japan thing. Strike, strike, strike. Gets the other guy down. Ah! Like that, right? You know, to get the crowd pumped up.
It's babyface.
Daredevil, so fucking punch the shit out of this guy in the mask, and all these crap cops punch. Halfway through, punch, punch, punch. I'm like, damn, that's my shit.
Yeah.
I can imagine Shooter, Ishii, Shingo, everyone in New Japan just doing that, because everyone in New Japan does that.
I mean, it's important. You got to get the crowd behind you, especially when you're a masked villain or vast superhero. But I like Kingpin. I don't like the voice. I don't like the voice he's doing. I just think it's lame. But man, Vincent D'Onofrio is like one of the best actors ever. So he's awesome.
World, yeah.
But I like how when he beats people up, when he fights, it's insane. And it's like
it's physical, right?
It's like who's the guy on Street Fighter 2? Like the main villain. It's like
yeah.
It's like him, you know. Like to me, as far as like in the game, it's just like
you got hit by Raul Julia.
M. Bison, that's his name, and he just fucks you up. And it reminds me of when you're playing a video game and you're like whipping through all the lower guys, and then you get to a boss fight in a fighting game, and they just beat the fuck out of you. And it's like that's what he does.
Yeah.
So they're gonna fight in the show. They're setting it up. They gotta fight again, so it's gonna be cool.
They get the physicality of Kingpin just right, because in the comics, like, they're like, you're just this fat asshole, aren't you? It's not really fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's muscle, dude, and he's just gonna knock you through the window or something.
He's the size
you're gonna
of
feel
a
like
house.
Yeah, you're gonna feel like a freaking sledgehammer just punched you in the face really fast, like that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I like it that they're both melting down at the same time, and you know, New Japanning out, showing this fucking strong spirit as they wail on people.
Right.
I like that Kingpin. It's not enough for him to beat someone up. He's got to get like the blood on that white painting that he has. You know, the one he keeps staring at.
Yeah.
He got blood like right across it.
Wow.
All that kind of stuff.
It's not just anybody he's beating up to. So it's like the person he's beating up is like, this is the end of his revenge on them finally, you know? So it's pretty cool.
Dude.
Good show, right?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think my favorite scene is still like that scene with Frank Castle. And it's like, just say his name, man. Say Foggy's name. And you hear him talk to you, right? I hear my little boy talk to me, and you know what he tells me? Get him, Daddy.
Yeah.
Get him. Get all of them.
That was good.
And I'm just like, oh, that is intense and heartbreaking at the same time. Like, you're gonna hear your little boy's voice do that. He's dead. Yeah, motherfucker's going down.
They cast the right guy for Punisher, because like
oh yeah,
that actor is a tremendous actor, and he often will just play some side character and you don't really barely notice him, except go, oh, that guy's cool. But man, when you give like, he's in shit where he's got something to sink his teeth into, that dude, he is a primo actor.
Yeah. Nah, he's the best Frank Castle. No offense to Ray Stevenson. I liked him in Punisher Warzone, but I don't miss Ray Stevenson. I loved him.
I know. 13. It's sad, but
what do you mean 13?
13. That's the Legion that he was in. Ray
That's
Stevenson.
right. Legion.
And he would always yell 13.
Right.
When he was hulking out and like fucking baby facing out, he would yell 13, you know? So that was his gimmick.
One of the few people we actually got to see do action scenes in that whole fucking show of Rome.
Yeah.
We're going to have an action scene. Yay! I've been waiting for at least one of these cut. That was great, wasn't it? Oh my god.
It did have the amazing battle in the arena, which was awesome. Like
Yeah.
that was fucking great. So and that had Lucius and Varenus and fucking Polo in it. So both
Oh,
those
that's
guys
right. Yeah, that
cut
was
dude's
pretty
leg
cool.
off with a fucking sword. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then you see like the next day, there's like instant Banksy like graffiti Roman style of these two saving each other.
I love their Guildenstern and Rosencrantz died. That's who they are, and like they just like everything bends around them, Which, by the way, they are much like the concept of something called a Taverin, which is in the book Wheel of Time. It's these kind of people that like the pattern, which is like the world. It just kind of melds itself around these people for good or for better or for worse. And man, I gotta tell you about Wheel of Time. So
Do it.
The TV show Wheel of Time came out like 2-3 years ago, and it was real bad. It was stupid.
Yeah, I didn't finish season 1.
I like the first episode kind of was like, okay, they were wearing the stupid wool clothes and stuff, and they got a lot of stuff right, but it was bad. And it got worse. And the whole first season is really poopy. And it's sad. I was not happy about it because it's my favorite book series ever. I love those books so much. I've read them like 5 times. I love them. And the second season started off the same, and I'm just going to keep watching it. I'm a glutton for punishment, as we know, and not only that, but it's like, I just want to see how bad it's going to get if that's the case. And I was laughing at season 2 because it was bad. Had some points. Every once in a while, you'd be like, okay, not bad. And then the ending happened, and it's not like the books at all. I mean, it is sort of location-wise and kind of who's involved, but it's not how it happens in the books. But I liked it. And it felt like the book somehow a little bit. And I was like, wow, wait, did they just adapt this to film? And I was like, how? That never happens in a good way. And so season 3 started a couple weeks ago. It kind of snuck up on me. I knew it was coming, but it was like, oh shit, 3 episodes out. And I watched them. And the first episode's pretty good. The second episode feels just like the books. I mean, I'm like watching it. I can't believe what I'm watching. I'm like, I watched it twice, which I rarely watch a TV show twice unless it's something classic. And I just loved it. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. So then I watched episode 3. Episode 3 was pretty good. One of the biggest things that they figured out is the character of Matt. Like, Matt is one of the best characters. He's my favorite character in the books. They had the first guy who played him dipped out in the middle of the first season or something, so they had to cut around him, which fucked up the whole season. So I get why that happened. And so they got a new guy playing him, and he didn't really do much in the second season, but now he's doing shit. And the character of Matt is one of the best characters I've ever read in a book. He's the best. And so
is he the luck guy?
Yes, he's
gambler. Yeah, he's amazing. Matt,
the
Carlson
master of battles. Yeah, everything that happens with him is cool. And it's just all so interesting because you're seeing it from his point of view. He's running around telling everybody, I'm no hero, while he twiddles a fucking stick and beats a whole army on himself. He's awesome. He's great. So they got that character figured out. And there's a scene with him and Min, which is Min is one of the love interests in the books of the main character, Rand. And I'm watching this. I'm going, man, this is it's like I'm reading the book. I can't believe it. And then the 4th episode came out, which was last week. And there's one episode waiting for me after we get done with this, which I'm excited to watch. And I could be wrong on which numbers these are, but the most the one about Ruidian. They went to Ruidian, which is one of the biggest, coolest parts of the entire series. And it was fantastic. It was so good. And people were saying this is the best episode of any fantasy series ever. And of course, it's hyperbole. There's probably a million things way better, but it's very good. And it made me feel like I was reading the books again. And that's all I wanted from the show. And I watched it 3 times. It's so awesome.
Oh, fuck.
It's so awesome. I love it.
So, yeah, I am a glutton for punishment, but for other things, not necessarily Wheel of Time. So I get that. Right? but I don't know if I want to see the good stuff, and I don't want to have to sit through 2 seasons of Stank, or 1 season of Stank and 1 season of half Stank. It's like when Yoshihashi's tagging with fucking Ishii. It's good, but then Ishii tags out, and suddenly you're like, oh god, can Ishii just tag the actor fuck in, please? Can Ishii just take the other 2 on? Right. Make this a handicap match, right? So YouTube's pretty good for recaps. I made Charity watch a recap of A New Hope before we watched Empire and Jedi, because she'd never seen Empire and Jedi because she didn't like the first movie. So look, we'll just watch a recap. That'll take a few minutes, and then we'll jump into these.
Absolutely.
Well, probably mentioned this on some NetherRealm somewhere, but she liked those other two movies, by the way. No kidding. They're fucking classics.
I like recap and chill on YouTube, and I also like Man of Recaps. That's the guy that wears the little tuxedo shirt, and he goes 100 miles an hour, but he's really funny. He says funny shit, and he reacts to what's happening. Like he'll just, I found him when I quit watching Walking Dead in like season 4, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore, but I kind of want to see what happens. So I just started watching the recaps instead, which is saved a lot.
I lasted to the end of season 2.
You didn't see it get bad then. You don't even know. So
look, you didn't even watch the awesome stuff yet, and I'm just like, like
season 3 was good.
Look, I understand that. Look, you don't want to necessarily do exactly what the comics did, but I don't know. There was a reason that comic book lasted as long as it did, and it's rare for a comic to be a success that doesn't have people in costumes punching each other.
That's fair.
It's rare. So I don't know. I just thought the changes that they made weren't as good as the comic book. So I was just like, I don't care about this. I understand you might want to keep John Bernthal on for a little longer because he was the other guy, right? Wasn't he? Was that him?
I don't know who John. Oh yeah, that's right. He was. I
Punisher.
Forgot. He was in the first season. He was the guy who was like the anti Rick. Yeah, that's what he was.
Yeah.
He was like Rick's partner or something, right?
He's dead in 6 issues of the comic book, but he's in like 2 and a bit seasons of the TV show, and I'm like, come on, man. And they made other changes, like they killed people in different orders and things like that. And I'm like, there's a reason some of these characters lasted longer than the other characters. It's probably because they were cooler and way more interesting than the ones you've just killed.
You don't like that. What, you don't like Carl? Do you like Carl?
No.
Me neither. He got shot in the eye. Look, he got shot in the fucking eye.
No offense to children, but fuck off. You get in the way
of
TV shows. You get it in the way. You can tell I don't have kids, right? I'm just like, go away. Oh, my kids. Yes, I know, your kids. All right. I want to have fun. Go away. I'm sorry, because they involve child actors and most of them are shit.
Well, then who would you rather play the kids?
The only child actor in the last few years that I'm being like, you know what? That dude was really awesome. If you watched like the Lost in Space reimagining?
I did not.
Will Robinson. I was like, this guy's going to bug the shit out of me, isn't he? No, by the end of the series, I'm like, yeah, this kid's really cool. So it can happen.
What is this? You go into it assuming the kid is going to suck. And that's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Even when I was even when I was a kid, I'm just like, I don't want kids in this. I want to see the cool adults doing cool adult stuff, and usually when you grow up, that kind of changes, and you be more accepting and stuff. And I don't have to. This is all fiction. Get them out of here. In real life, fine. They can be everywhere. I don't care. They're fine, living their lives, growing up, all good.
Okay.
Just get off my TV screen.
Okay.
Unless there's like child wrestling, I would watch them fucking bounce off ropes and do
oh my god, Luke, you don't know about the NWF, do you? That is a real thing. Someone tried to start a child's wrestling federation. And that 100% real. I wish I did research on it once, and it's been a long time, but it's out there.
Is it
It's
a train
called
wreck?
what's that?
Is it a train wreck?
Yes. What? Yes. What do you mean? Of course. It's like they had a TV show, I think, and everything. It's not good, man. Not good at all. So, yeah, wasn't a train wreck. Come on now. So, yeah, well, I'll have to send you some info on that. Look that up out there. So it was the NWF.
Just derailed.
And I can't remember what it stands for. The only reason I remember is the NWF is my local federation's also the NWF. And I was like, what the fuck? It's called the NWF. So
They should have called it the IVF. Oh my god, that would have been funny.
IVF.
Yeah, because then that what people do to like have babies or I don't know, man.
Oh, in vitro fertilization. Oh, sick in vitro fertilization joke. This is wild. So speaking of in vitro fertilization, let's see here. So we have this family friend who is gay, and she has a wife and everything, and she's awesome. And that's only important to the story because of something they did that is common, I think. And it's like, what? That is awesome. So they wanted to have a kid. So they got a friend who to be a sperm donor, basically, and they took an egg from the one lady's like ovaries, inseminated, and put it in the other lady. So she's really having her their child to get. That's a fucking awesome shit, man. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. I was like, that's wow.
Fucking science.
Yeah, that is some sci-fi for good. I was like, man, that is fucking great shit. Cool. Made me think of that.
Dude, speaking about fucking science for good, it's probably nowhere near as good as that, but it's still pretty cool. Hey, let's bring back the woolly mammoth. How? Let's start with woolly mice. I'm like, fuck, that's gnarly, man. I'm like, all right, yes, I've got Jeff Goldblum in my head going, just because you can doesn't mean you should, like, or whatever the fuck he says in Jurassic Park, right? But on the other hand, I want to see a woolly mammoth. Make one of those, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sure. They can make those. I don't have anything against it. But I don't really believe that there's ever going to be like one of these like science catastrophes that kills everyone on Earth or something like that. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe
nuclear war or something, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's more likely. Or there's probably something we never thought of. One of my coworkers, I work with some gems, my friend, and one of my coworkers one time proclaimed, I swear to God, what is scientists even doing? He's like, what are they even doing? We already know everything that we're ever going to know. He said that with a straight face, and he meant it. And it was like, that's like the most ignorant thing you could ever say, ever. And I like wrote it down. I was like, what was that? Like wrote it down because it was so fucking stupid. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't press record. Can you say that shit again, please?
It's like, what? And I mean, I know this guy is like, he's a shit stirrer. So I know he's just saying crazy shit to try to get me to react. And I don't. But that time I was just like, take a note of that because that's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Is that the reaction he wants?
I don't know.
Like, is the reaction he wants, I think you're a fucking idiot? Because if that's the reaction you want, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Mr. Andy thinks you're a fucking stupid head.
Yeah, I think he likes to argue with people, but I don't argue. I just won't do it. You know what I mean? So like, he always tries to I guess he's learned over time that he's not going to get me to argue, but he still says crazy shit like that, or just something outrageously right wing, just out of nowhere, and I'm just like, I just ignore him. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. There's no minds will be changed today, my friend. So it's like, what's the point?
Just give him his phone and go, have you heard of Twitter? You will have a blast, mate.
Yeah, go over there. Yeah.
There's a billion people like it on you. Oh,
yeah.
You've already got a blue check mark? No shit.
But he doesn't like anything to do with technology. It's all bad. It's not good. Hey, one time I showed him how to use the Outlook calendar. Changed his life. He uses it for everything now. He's like, oh man, that calendar is awesome. Yeah, you could use some of that stuff if you wanted, but it's all bad. It's like he can't change his mind about something until he has a personal experience. He cannot. He has no empathy. Sorry, I'll quit bitching about him.
I had a mini meltdown because like I won't go too deep into it because it's like it's a bit much. But one of the kind of like plans to, help me manage my ADHD will be, hey, maybe you need like better time management skills and plan out your day and shit. And I'm like, fucking no. I don't like my day being so regimented that I'm like, 9 o'clock, I'm doing this. 10 o'clock, what am I, the fucking mayor of the town? I'm not doing that. Next thing you know, the doctor's going to be like, left, right, left. No, I'm not doing that. Stop putting your authority on me. Get out of here. Telling me to regiment and plan and time manage my whole day. What if I change my mind? Luke, at 4 o'clock, you're supposed to be doing this. No.
I can't tell if you're serious or not. So.
I want to do something different. Dude, I just like, also, what if I make this intense schedule and then something happens? Not an emergency, because, that's different. But something happens and like the day I envision is totally changed. I already have a meltdown when that happens. I'm like,
so you're not willing to try anything here? I mean, is this a situation where I just described someone who refused to use a calendar and we made fun of that? And now you're saying, oh, this doctor gave me a skill to help me myself, and I told him to fuck off.
No. It's just like,
come on.
No. It's just
you're smarter than that, man.
Yeah, I know. But it was something I had a little bitch about, just to charity, and now to you and anyone listening. But it's like, that's part of my Luke's doing something about it process. I gotta have a bitch about it first. Like, I can't just do it. I gotta have a complaint. And step one, write everything down and regiment. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I usually do to to-do lists? I'm like, oh yeah, what a cool list.
Right. Yeah. But you understand it doesn't have to be. I know. It's going to be your version of whatever it is. So it's not like you have to write down every second of your day, So to me, it sounds like, something was suggested and then it goes through, and this happens to all of us. It goes through the filter of our mind and becomes something huge when it was just something small. So, you'll get it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm proud of you, Luke.
Thank you. Look, before I do something, I just gotta tell motherfuckers to get off my grass. All right, that's just how
get the damn kids off the TV too. Fucking kids, can't believe them.
They're wooden ass shitty acting. Get out of here.
Did you finish Reacher?
Is it absolutely? Has all 8 episodes aired now? Has it?
Correct.
No, I've watched up to 7, so I'll probably watch it tonight. So
okay,
yeah,
I gotcha. Well, you have to keep me up to date because I'm assuming that he's got to fight that big guy, and I kind of want to know what happens with that. But that's the only thing I'm invested in.
From what I remember in the book, he fucking cheats.
He cheats. Oh, okay.
Like there's an episode just recently where he punched the guy in the belly chest area, and I'm like, dude, he'll barely have to tense up. He's not going to feel that. And also, aren't you supposed to be really smart and strategic, Reacher? You're supposed to punch lower than that. Fucking rip his nuts off, and whilst he's going, my dick, do a fucking Taka Michinoku and Gato and pluck both his eyes out. What are you doing?
Is that how he usually handles guys bigger than him in the books? That's pretty cowardly,
Well, this is like book 8 or 9 or something like that. So season 2 is book 11. So let that sink in. Anyway, why are they doing these in order? I know, because they don't know how many seasons they're getting, so they're getting to all the best books, I guess. I don't know why they did the first book then. But, this is like one of the only times he comes up against someone bigger than him. But,
okay.
One of the common things he says is, like, get your retaliation in first. And, also, if you're outnumbered or outgunned or something, fight dirty.
Okay.
So if he doesn't cheat somehow, like go for a nut shot or a low blow or something like that, I'm like, come on, man, what are you doing?
What happens in the books? Like, how does he beat the guy? You say he cheats, but how does he cheat? I mean, is it ref distraction? I mean, is Gator sliding the shillelagh in? I mean, how's it work?
And from what I remember, and I could be totally wrong, it's been when that year that book come out. I think he used like weightlifting equipment and shit.
Okay. They were like pumping iron together. They had the little, punchy punch there and there. That was funny, but I don't know. I just lost interest because.
Well, maybe I've seen the 6. I can't remember.
I don't know. I just lost interest. I just don't care. One of the characters gets their ear cut off, right? Did you see that part?
No. All right. So I must be up to episode 6. I got 7 and 8 to watch. Okay.
All right. Well,
I don't mind spoilers. It's fine. I've read the book.
Somebody gets their ear cut off. It's like no big deal. It's kind of a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? So I saw Reservoir Dogs. I can see how big of a deal it can be. And in this show, it's not a big deal. It's something to happen,
See, look, when Game of Thrones gets a 13 episode season, I understand why. The book's freaking massive. That's how much it needs. Do it for one season, that much book, right? I get it. Reaches half the length, less than 500 pages, bigger font. It's not as big a book. So, rather than give one season 8 episodes, I'd give it 4. And then I'd do 2 books a year instead. Like, if you're obviously not going to get around to doing like all 22. His brother writes them now, and they're fucking shit.
Oh, fuck you, brother. You hear that?
Oh my god. So he ends on a high note.
He's got kids in him, I bet, doesn't he? He wrote kids in.
Children, yeah. Well, it's his kid brother. So...
Oh, there you go. That's why.
So he writes it. The last one he does by himself is called Blue Moon. It's awesome. It's like, for some reason, he decided to channel his inner Jack Bauer. The bloody body count and action is like huge. I don't know. Okay. Go big or go home. That's how he finishes the series by himself. And then the next couple he writes with his brother. And I'm like, this is shit. And now I don't even buy them anymore. So, yeah, they're not as good. They're not as good.
Is that why you don't like Shota Umino? Is it because his love for children, and you can sense that through the screen, and you were like, you know what? Ain't doing it. Is that the real reason?
Look, if I was a kid, I would think he's a fucking asshole and a loser. Why? Now you're just pandering to me. That's not cool.
He's been pandering since the beginning. He was born to pander.
Now, you know what? If I was a kid, you know who I would think was cool? The dude spitting water at babies' faces.
Oh my god! Did you see the episode of Eliminate with Lance Archer on it? Did you see that? Oh man, there is if people are not aware, there's an episode of Eliminate with Lance Archer on it, and it's out there, and he gets spoilers for everything, but he does not win the Eliminate, and he is not asked about if he wants children or not, which is a missed opportunity. So. Just saying.
Of course he wants children. Like, man's got to eat.
I love on Trailer Park Boys, whenever Leahy catches Randy working the streets, his excuse is always, man's got to eat. That's his excuse.
Man's got to eat, says Randy, the dude who can stand to maybe skip a few meals. Yeah.
He only eats cheeseburgers. It's awesome.
And I only feel good saying that because I used to have a Billy a bit like that. So,
it's his gimmick. The man never wears a shirt just to show everything.
Dude,
it's so funny.
If you got a build like that and you decide shirts aren't for you, you got to take it. Like, there's consequences for your actions.
I like when Randy takes his pants off because that's when it's serious.
No,
you know what? You don't want to fight him when he takes his pants off. It's so funny.
Except every time he goes to take his pants off, that's when the other person backs him.
And he rolls around in the mud. A lot of rolling around on that show and yelling. It's great. Oh, they're great at falling down.
My favorite ongoing gag of that whole show is like Ricky's just got this special skill every now and again to talk his way out of trouble with the cops or the judges or something like that. And you're just like, what? That worked? Then anybody else would try the exact same thing. That's not working. But somehow, yeah.
It gives him the confidence to go on in life, too. And that's what's great is he knows he's going to be able to talk his way out of it. So
He
it's great.
he's a big loser, but he wins enough that like you can kind of see it. Like it's not like he's Beavis or Butthead or Bud Bundy, dudes who are like, I'm the hottest dudes ever, and I'm gonna score, and I'm awesome at kicking ass, and then you see them get their ass kicked and not score. All that kind of confidence of like, I'm the best. When how you fail every time? How do you have this confidence? I
don't know how people do it, honestly. I mean, I just fail and get sad. This happens to me. So.
Yeah, I just fail and give up.
Give up. Yeah, just like Marty tells us to in his wisdom. That's pretty great. Well, Luke, okay, so I told you about another TV show that I've been watching, and I was going to report back to you on whether it was worth watching or not. And I think you'll hate most of it, but I think by the end you might like it, right? And it's called The Joe Schmo Show. And it is it's confusing because it is kind of a revival of a show that came out a long time ago that was actually the first show to do the gimmick where everybody on the show is an actor except for one dude. So Jury Duty took that gimmick and took it to this like amazing level. Jury Duty's awesome. Jury Duty was very silly, but it was silly in a way that just put all this babyface heat on the main dude. And by the end, you're just like, that's like the greatest dude to ever live. And
that's lightning in a bottle because he might have been an asshole in some ways and really cool in others, but he's a general stand-up kind of dude.
They picked the right guy. It worked. I'm sure there's some movie magic going on there with the story and how it all went down and what they didn't show us, I'm sure. But it doesn't feel manufactured. So the Joe Schmo Show is the same exact thing, but the guy is on, instead of being on jury duty on a reality show about jury duty, he is on a reality show that is just goofy, that he's never heard of, that's popular in other countries. It's called The Goat. Right. This becomes even more confusing because between the time that show came out, or they filmed that show, and now a show called The Goat actually came out. So that's so confusing.
That's fucking amazing.
And it's like the worst. It's like a bunch of losers from different reality shows competing because they didn't get a chance to win, and now they're going to be the GOAT. Like that's what it is with Daniel Tosh as the host. So but it's not that. It is actually a show about a goat, all right? And you want to be a goat, and it's goat themed, and there's goat lore and all this shit. It is extremely silly, and it's funny, but it's like it seems like the people doing it are not good at their job. But that seems like that's part of the story. They almost fuck it up a bunch of times. And a lot of the big moments seem very manufactured, whereas on Jury Duty, they felt very genuine. But the last couple episodes of Joe Schmo Show kind of scratched that Jury Duty itch. And it was like, yeah, they were over the top with, this guy's the greatest guy ever. But by then, I liked him a lot. And the way that they did the ending was like the final test for this guy. And it's almost like they didn't test him that much. But then the final test was like really big and he did awesome. And it's like, oh. That's cool. By the end, it gave me it was like, okay, I'm glad I watched this, So
one day they're going to attempt a show like this, and the person that they choose is going to turn out to be some kind of douchebag, and they're going to be like, "Fuck, we've already spent $5 million on this." Fuck.
They play that up because a lot of it's the backstage people, like, being nervous about what's going to happen. There's a lot of that, right? Where Jury Duty kind of did that a little bit, but most of the action was going on, with the guy. This show it's a little different. It's a little, gross that way, but I really liked it. I thought it was fun. Not a good television show. It's no Wheel of Time season 3, but it's pretty good. So,
well, you've got to watch 2 shitty seasons of Picard to get to the good stuff. Or you could just pretend they never existed and just jump to season 3 like I did.
Why are they saying he's a robot?
Just ignore that. Just ignore that robot stuff. Also, if you were going to make him a robot, why would you give him old man body? He's a robot now. Make him look like Picard from season 1. Or when he had fucking hair.
They said why. They said why? So that he could age
What-
naturally and die naturally. He'll still age and die naturally. Why?
Then what was the? That's fucking stupid.
A lot of stupid shit. The squid monster coming out of the sky to kill everybody at the end of the first season. Pretty fucking stupid. Pretty stupid. I'd rather watch season 1 of TNG like any time over that. And I like that season, so, It's not...
Look, I would say it's the worst season of TNG, but I like it too. There's like Skin of Evil's really good. The one with like the little parasites that try to take over the Federation's really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
what's that one called? Conspiracy. That's really awesome. Like, what makes me laugh is the episodes where they're trying to make the Ferengi look like the next big bads of Star Trek.
They got whips and the lightning.
Yeah, and it never worked because like it just. But once they turned them into like greedy capitalist douchebags, suddenly that race just fucking clicks every time you see him now, right?
Yeah, they really shine on DS9. They're like the best part of DS9, man. Those Ferengi episodes are just so good, man. Moogie, I love Moogie. Moogie kills it.
It's like, oh, D Space Nine's finished. Like, sweet. Now, can we get get Rom, Nog, Quark, the Grand Nagus, all these motherfuckers? Just do their TV show.
I could have done a cartoon or something, They didn't even try. Fuckers.
Can you believe Nog's passed away, like the actor?
No. That's sad.
He's like,
I didn't know that.
Benjamin Sisko's, like, not Benjamin Sisko, Jake Sisko's best friend. Yeah, that's
Really?
weird, man. Yeah.
Well, I know about him in the show where they weren't, not in real life, right? They weren't best friends.
Oh, I don't know. Acting, of course. You just.
Okay.
You mean to tell me Dr. Bashir and Miles O'Brien aren't really best friends in real life?
I was just genuinely asking because I thought that's what you were saying.
No.
But yeah, that's like that kid acts his ass off on that show too. He gets his leg cut off and all that shit in the war, and he's like the first like real casualty that we feel as a viewer. We're like, oh fuck, this show's serious. They took Nog's leg off.
First Ferengi Federation officer too. So there's like shades of. I know it's a completely different race, but you kind of like imagine like that's like he's going through some shit that Worf went through, but maybe different because they see him as like some kind of greedy capitalist kind of guy.
Instead of like a violent maniac, he's just like a weasel. He's just like a jerk. Yeah, I got you. That's good.
Yeah,
man. We need the Rom cartoon. I love Rom. Rom tries to form a union in one of the episodes. That was great, which is against the law in Ferengi, by the way. It's like what is it like? So the Federation has the Prime Directive, right? They have like their number one rule of acquisition is no.
The rules of acquisition.
That's right. That's always great.
I feel like I've got like somewhere in this garage. I do have this little book which is like all of the Ferengi rules of acquisition, or at least the ones that are said on the telly.
That's fun.
During Deep Space Nine. So I've got it somewhere. Yeah. No, like. Come on, man. Who watches that show and their favorite character isn't like one of the Ferengi? Like, get out of here. Gets like, sorry, mine's Worf. But after that,
yeah,
it's the Ferengi. Come on, man.
He's watching from up there. I really like the Lwaxana Troi episodes too. In any season, I love them. She's so funny to me, even though she took a bath with Alexander. That's the one weird thing.
Yeah,
she did. Everything else. Cool.
She likes to like, but she wants to fuck Odo. That's right.
Yeah, that's great. And Odo's like the perfect. Odo is like Picard in that way. And so
absolutely.
It's great. I like that.
Look, if they were easy to get, that would bore her to tears, wouldn't they? Lwaxana likes a bit of. She likes the chase.
That's right.
Yeah, she does.
At one time, she like shoes up and Picard's in the dress uniform and his legs are sticking out and she's talking about his legs. His face is great. I love it.
It's kind of like they wrote Lwaxana Troi as if she was a male. Like
yeah,
because of how she treats men is kind of like how we can treat women and that kind of stuff. But
Not me,
I don't know.
but like Riker, yeah.
Oh, Riker wouldn't have fucking put up a fight. He's a fucking slut, that guy.
No, I just mean she acts like him, like he does.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm sick of this thing in Star Trek where they're like, Kirk's the biggest freaking man slut in the galaxy. I'm like, I watched the original series. It's not that pronounced. In fact, Spock gets just as much of lady attention as he does.
he has to, or he dies.
Right?
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah.
No man's ever used that excuse before. I have to or I'll die. Get out of here.
Yeah, I've got Ponfar. It's a thing.
The Ponfar is just a big conspiracy on Vulcan that women don't know about.
Like, but you watch TNG, like Riker's just like anything that moves, pretty much.
Yes. He doesn't even care gender. Doesn't matter. Which I mean, fair enough. Don't discriminate, buddy.
It's the 24th century, bro. Like it's like he's above all that 21st century fucking hang-ups and shit. Like we just wouldn't understand.
It's true. Well, I'm glad that he and Troy ended up together. I'm sorry they had to lose their son though for the fucking TV show Picard to happen. Because they have a son. Yeah. But he's dead in Picard, and they're like, "Oh, one of them bad guys that we got to chase after sure did do it. Let's go get him or whatever." But that's the catalyst to all the cool shit happening, if I remember right. So yeah, it's like, sorry, had to sacrifice somebody.
Look, we do get the celebration of TNG in that show, so it's pretty cool. Like yeah, we're gonna have to do like a mighty. I can see us doing a sideshow, TNG. That's I don't know, like the older
TNG,
and you got to do the hand flourish. Everyone watching this on YouTube.
But how do we get them to hear that with their nose? Or no, we're trying to get them. How's that work? I'm not sure what we're trying to do. See it with their ears. That's what it is.
That's right. What's this funny YouTube video where someone's done like a Next Generation video, but you only hear the music when the Enterprise is going past because it's coming out of the speakers. So it's like Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, Jonathan Frakes, William Riker, and then it comes past.
Does it do the Doppler effect where it sounds like it's like changing pitch or whatever?
Yeah. And then you get like, and then as it comes again. Yeah, it's fucking funny. They did one for all of them, these guys, but the Next Gen one's the one I saw first. So that's I think the older I get, the more that's my favorite of all the Treks.
It's always been my favorite,
Yeah.
It's the first one I watched. I didn't care about regular Star Trek until I had already watched TNG, and I was like, wait, I know about that old show. Let's check that out.
The Klingons? They don't have bumpy foreheads.
Yeah, I just figured it was makeup. There's they come up with some explanation for that in like one of the shows.
It's Deep Space Nine, man. It's Trials and Tribulations, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's
Jadzir's looking at the smooth foreheads of the Klingons in a Worf. Then it's like, what's the go here? And he's like, we don't talk about it. That's the best explanation. Yeah, that's the best. We don't talk about it with outsiders or something like that. Like that's all. By the way, that episode is a masterpiece, and it's worth it just to have Terry Farrell in the old school mini skirt outfit.
Talking about her legs, like Lwaxana. So maybe you are like her. Okay, I see how you are.
Hey, I like seeing hot people on the telly. All right.
Okay, I'm not mad at you. I want Vampire Lady back on what you call it, so yes.
Daredevil, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Man. Watched a bunch of good TV shows, there's been some good and some bad. I'm excited for the Wheel of Time, the continuation of that. Baseball season just started. The March Madness tournament is going on here right now. We also have the NBA playoffs coming up and Sakura Genesis. So there's a lot of shit to look forward to in the next couple weeks.
With 40-year-old, what's his name? Who's the 40-year-old player that's really big? Kobe Bryant?
Godo?
Is that him?
You mean Godo?
Nah, basketball.
LeBron
Is it
James.
Kobe
is who you're
Bryant?
talking
LeBron
about.
James. Oh, Kobe's the one that died.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, he was a
I-
fucking. It's like he had two goats at the same time, right? With
Sort of,
those two.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know shit about basketball, everyone. So
That's
just
okay.
take that for what it is.
You know who they are. I don't know any cricket players, you know what I mean, or rugby players. So.
Yeah. No. So yeah, he's 40 and still doing it. Is he still any good? Like he must be if he's still playing.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's like
That's
one of
like
the
with
best players
Serena
ever.
Williams was like 42 when she retired or some crazy shit like that, and she was still crushing people. Serena,
Yeah,
fucking goat.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I
People-
don't like LeBron James really, but he's like I saw him play once in person and it was fucking unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, you know, Okada's not my favorite wrestler in the world, but I've seen him wrestle live.
Yeah,
as well,
it's
and-
like that. It's a little bit like that, where it's like, oh yeah, of course you did that. You know, that's how I feel about it when I watch it. But it's hard to like, you know, I can't downgrade the greatness of him. But he's just, he knows it, so it's all good.
he knows it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like, and I'm not really interested in a lot of these kind of sports, but for some reason I have watched a Wayne Gretzky documentary, and I
Oh.
watched that fucking Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls one that came out a couple years ago. I don't know why.
American sports culture is dominating, Luke. So it is what it is. Even I, who hated sports growing up and was like, sports are evil, because I recognized the, you know, capitalism behind it and the, you know, competition and the bad spirits and stuff like that. I didn't like it. But as I got older, I started watching it and I understood. And I love football and I love baseball and I love watching it. And so does everybody else. So it's just something to like connect with people, you know.
I'd watch more sports, but as soon as I see a gambling ad, I'm like, nah,
Well, can't watch American sports.
I don't like it. It's like they smear their gambling feces and then then they get the actual commentators to talk about odds and stuff. I'm like, what? That is a conflict of interest or something. What are you doing?
Well, it's just entertainment, you know, the game is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like if my team wins, I'm like, okay, cool. If they don't win, it's not the end of the world. I don't really care. So, you know, I just want to have a good time watching it.
I like it when the teams that I follow, not that I really like, I never know where they are on the ladder, the Essendon Bombers or the Melbourne Storm. That's AFL and
Is that
rugby.
Heat Storm?
Oh, more like Thunder.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, yeah, and of course, like, what song do they come out to? AC/DC's Thunderstruck, of course.
Okay.
You know, so you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah. By the way, rugby in Australia is more a New South Wales and Queensland dominated sport. The Melbourne Storm is a Victorian team, and thus those two states hate the Melbourne Storm. They also hate that we're almost in the finals every single year.
Yeah.
And
domination.
they definitely fucking hate that we won a grand final in our second year of existence.
Yeah.
And we've won at least 6 or 7 grand finals in like in all that time, all that kind of shit too. So like they hate that. Not only do they hate that we have a team, they hate that we're a fucking dominant team.
Right.
Oh. I don't know why.
I mean,
like I'm a war ball.
They probably think the refs are in on it. They probably think somebody's cheating. I mean, there's probably a lot of accusations flying around about the Melbourne, you know, Storm. So
it's not only that, dude, but you'll get like the commentators just saying like, "Oh, that was some bad play by the other team. Not good play by Melbourne Storm, but bad play for the other by the other team."
I got
like, just put the Storm over, dude. Like, what is your problem? That was good play. Our dude ran from this end of the field to the other end of the field and scored. Bad play by the Broncos. Yeah, no shit. Good play by that dude who ran the whole fucking field, though, right?
He didn't get any credit, though.
No, he plays for the Storm. Fuck that guy.
That's funny. One of my favorite things about going to a live event, like a sporting event, is that the announcers or the home announcer is always awesome. They're always great. You know, it's like some guy with just like amazing voice booming. But when they announce the home team, they're like, you know, batting for the Reds, number 3, Ellie De La Cruz. And then when they're announcing the other team, like, batting for the other team, Ellie De La Cruz. They just say it just like that. It's so funny. I just love the juxtaposition of that. It's fucking funny shit, man.
Of course. That's, oh, man. That just reminded me of like that Simpsons episode where they're watching soccer and the commentators are like, all right, such and such passes it, passes it, passes it, passes it. And then you go to the because it's Argentina versus Mexico or something. So you got the Spanish announce team going, he's fucking passed it to this guy. Oh my god, now he's passed it to this guy. He's fucking passed it to this guy, yeah. But yeah,
they get
I'm like,
sport, yeah.
Yeah, and I've tried watching football. Soccer. Yeah, I call it sucker. S-U-C-K.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Yeah. No, fuck that. That's a good movie. Can you?
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Get you, sucker.
I was making a Booker T reference, so
I know. My mate Tim sent me this link, and it was like the time Austin and Booker T fought at the supermarket. Yeah. And he's like, Luke, do you remember this? I'm like, I don't even need to watch this to remember that line by Austin at the end. Price check on Jackass.
That was great. I've been watching a guilty pleasure thing too. I mean, I'm just, I always got the TV on, so I'm always got something on. And WWE produced a new TV show. It's a reality show. It's kind of like Tough Enough, but it's called LFG, Legends and Future Greats. Also, let's fucking go. And it is not good, but it's kind of fun to watch. What they did is they brought in legends, and they're going to train future greats in a competition, and so it's like a competition reality show. The host is Shawn Michaels. And so they got Booker T, they got Bubba Dudley, they got Undertaker, and they have not Michelle McCool. Oh my god, she's one of my favorite lady wrestlers from back then. I can't remember her name. She's on it. She's awesome. And they have these people. It's people they just signed or people that have been there for just under a year, kind of at the Performance Center, and they each get a team, and they got to teach them how to wrestle. It's kind of fun. It is not good, as I said. But part of the show is that they get these legends sitting there and they're watching the show, watching these guys wrestle, and they kind of get a little loose with it sometimes. They say funny ass shit. There's also storylines where there's like a character that's an asshole, and he's kind of the best wrestler on the whole fucking show, and he's obviously somebody they see stuff in, and he's like picking a fight with Bubba Dudley all the time. And they try to act like it's real, but I hope it ends with a match. It's got to end with a match with those two or something. But Booker T is fucking hilarious on the show because he's constantly heckling his opponents. So he'll be like, his guy comes in, he's like, that's my guy, like all up in their face until they react. And you could tell they're just cutting up the whole time. It's fun.
Look, no offense to Booker. No. If I was like one of those students, I would be going like, I want to be on team Booker T or Shawn Michaels, please, because like they've both trained some pretty popular wrestlers. Also, I'd probably be like, I want to be with the guy who trained Bryan Danielson, please. Like,
well, like, he's the host, so you can't be on his team.
Oh,
so
damn it!
But I mean, Undertaker's there, right? So you can.
I don't want to see his fucking knife collection. I want to learn how to wrestle.
He has
I want to play video games.
They all have to do the acting that you see on reality shows too, and Mickey James is the lady. So you got Bubba, like Bubba Dudley's excellent at it. Like he's great at it. He's awesome. He could be on Pawn Stars and step in for that guy instantly and just kill it. And he's so good at it. But like Undertaker is not good at it. Booker T is. Mickey James is great at it. But it's fun because Undertaker, you could tell they just told him to say stuff, so he has to say stuff. But there's the smallest girl on the show who has a cheerleader gimmick, asks him, which by the way is the Undertaker's wife's idea, according to the show, asks him if she can do the Hell's Gate, and he has to say yes. And you can tell it's so contrived and set up, but it still happened. It's like this little girl with a cheerleader gimmick is doing a Hell's Gate, and the Undertaker's like, "Good job doing right by my move."
I like how one of those stories is
awesome.
I'm gonna go up to Bubba Dudley and give him lots of shit. I'm like, this is a guy who's pretty famous for giving people receipts.
Right?
I'd fucking watch yourself, mate.
That's
like,
why they're doing
that-
it. Yeah.
yeah, you watch a lot of these stories about people talking about ECW, and then later on, didn't the WWE backstage people accept him and Devon because they had a match with the fucking Acolytes and they
Yeah.
didn't back down?
That's right.
Right?
That's why it's
Like-
fun though, because it plays on that stuff. You know all that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
and anyone who doesn't know that can tell because Bubba Dudley acts like he's going to beat this kid up, and you kind of want to see him beat him up. You know, it's like there's good parts of the show. It's not a bad show. It's just it's not good. It's just fun to watch. I don't know. I would rather watch that than their television show. And I just saw it and I was on. I was like, yeah, let's check this out. This is kind of fun. So now I'm invested. So.
Hell, part of me would be like, I wouldn't mess with any of them because, you know, they might have more fun personalities than Bubba Ray Dudley, but you don't give me a come world champion like Booker T or Undertaker without dishing out some fucking receipts, right? Especially in that era.
They talk about
Especially
that a
in
little
those
bit,
era.
you know? And
Yeah.
it's fun, too, just to hear The Undertaker talk about drop down, drop kick,
Yeah.
tackle and shit like that. It's like he talks about selling, and he talks about his character, and it's so weird. So, I like it. It's fun.
Sometimes I just like, that's why I like the New Japan approach. Like you and I we don't know anything about their lives except
Not
maybe the
really.
diary tidbits.
Yeah, which
And
isn't much. So
no. And even when I meet some of these wrestlers, I have a good experience. I mean, the Japanese ones, the Western ones, I kind of know if I get a better gauge if they're like cool people or not. Farley, pretty solid. Kyle Fletcher, absolutely wonderful. Robbie Eagles is the fucking man. But the Japanese gents, like, you don't know. There's the language barrier and all that kind of stuff, but they're cool, you know. But you don't get a full sense of whether they're good people or not. And I kind of like that. They keep their mystique about them. And I kind of like that because I don't want to find out that they're secret douchebags who want everyone to look at knives and all that kind of stuff. I bet you there's lots of stories about receipts, though. We see a lot of those in the ring, don't we?
yeah, weird, all kinds of violence. I always say violence in wrestling is like currency. It gets exchanged sometimes for reasons we can't really understand. You know, most of the time for reasons we can't really understand. Because I don't punch my friends, and I don't, it's not like how I roll. So it's kind of hard to understand, I guess.
No. In fact, I'm watching wrestling because I don't particularly like people really hurting each other and beating each other up. If I wanted that, I'd be watching MMA or fucking boxing and shit. So, like,
oh man, George Foreman died. You know?
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Man, you ever watch some George Foreman fights when he came back? I mean,
yeah,
he could get punched in the face 1,000 times and just didn't bother him at all. And it was like, when I watched Rocky, people always said, "Oh, that's not how fights are." Yeah, it kind of was in the golden age of heavyweights. It kind of was. These guys, they try to dodge, and some of them were amazing, like Muhammad Ali. But some of them were just great at getting their face caved in and not being faced at all. It's like, wow.
Like part of their strategy and job is to take the beating, so the other guy exhausts themselves, and then you can just lay in the fucking punches.
Yeah, George Foreman, that's what his whole game plan was.
Wait for this guy to exhaust himself. I'm pretty sure this guy runs 10Ks a day, dude. He's not going to get tired. No, he'll get tired. And then I'm just going to knock him out. Okay. Well, it must mean something to it. George Foreman was a world champion, so.
More than once, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And he beat Muhammad Ali, too. So it's like, man, watching those fights, though, it's miraculous. And it is shocking. I didn't know. I watched fights when I was a kid, but I don't think I paid attention to the heavyweight stuff other than Mike Tyson. And those fights were short. You know what I mean? So it's like seeing somebody get their face beat in for 10 3-minute rounds. It's like, wow, that is fucking violent.
10 3-minute rounds. That's like, what, 30 minutes? Like, ouch.
A long time.
And, dude, that is like getting hit by one of those gents is like getting smashed by the Kingpin.
Yeah. But it's fine. Just hit me more. It's fine. I'll try to block, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna try to wait till you swing one, run hard, and just blast you. It's like, I'm not
I
saying
wanna
that
see-
these guys weren't technicians. They knew more about
I-
boxing than I will ever
I
know.
want to see a boxing match where the boxer just lays in some sick blows, the guy goes down, and then the boxer's like, "Ah!" like fucking Daredevil and Kingpin or New Japan
I
Wrestling or
like
something.
that.
Then the other wrestler other boxer gets up and is like, I've
No
already hulked
cells.
out, dude.
Right.
No cells.
Right. Good,
Gets
no
up
cells.
at 1.
Hey, man.
You know the 10 count in case you're knocked out or something? Yeah, gets up at 1. What? He's up at 1. Oh my god.
You know what I want more than anything is that if I could, if there was a time machine or if I had a magic wand, could get Marty to be the ref of some of those golden, age heavyweight fights.
Oh.
And he would be so tiny and he would be so upset with them hitting each other. He would freak out, and the whole time would be like him just flying
I want
around.
him there I want him there for the earbutting incident with
Yes.
Holyfield and fucking Mike Tyson, man.
To tie that around, one of Holyfield's kids is on the LFG show.
No shit.
Yeah. He was doing a punchy punch gimmick too. And the Undertaker was like, I like your punches, kid. You want to see a knife?
Gil Hibben made it.
Gil Hibben. Hey, the Undertaker and Gil Hibben be hanging out all the time, man. They're shooting guns and stuff. Yes. And making knives.
I can see him chilling back with a few beers, watching Tulsa King together and talking about fucking Sly and knives and fucking all this kind of shit.
Have you watched season 2? Did you watch season 2 of Tulsa King?
I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
I will.
There's a wrestler on it, and I kind of know him. I've met him many times, and he was notorious. Like he would be in the main event of an indie show, and it's like, brother, if he gets the mic, I'm leaving, because he would just. He was like Shane Douglas. Wrestling business ain't like it used to be, but I'm here to tell you, just give us like 45-minute promo about how wrestling sucks. It's like, dude, then quit. But
I think my least favorite episode of Nitro was the one where the Ultimate Warrior came back. And I didn't have any nostalgia for him because I got into wrestling after him, right? So I never saw his WWF run. Then he comes into WCW and he cuts a promo and he's there for like an hour doing it. And I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Go away. And then he was gone anyway.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was weird. He was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he was. I miss WCW sometimes.
Hey, man, that WCW YouTube channel, telling you, good shit. They have like a live feed sometimes. It's just matches. And it's like Rey Mysterio versus some guy you don't remember. And it's like, what is this? These guys are awesome. It's like there's all kinds of cool shit on there.
This is La Parka. La Parka versus Juventud Guerrera.
Man, Juventud. I love it.
Psychosis. All that crazy
Psychosis
shit. Super
was
crazy.
Dude, Psychosis, the fucking leg drop to the floor. Every night, the leg drop to the floor. Oh my God. Is he still alive? Is his back still alive?
Mate, that move looks great. I love you. I love you. That move looks great. Just do it on pay-per-view, mate. Just do it on pay-per-view. No. I mean, they had to kill themselves for recognition because the fucking heavies were stealing the limelight. Yeah. Fucking sucks, man.
The heavies were always the limelight. It's just the way it was.
Yeah, but even me with like when I got into wrestling, it was through like I guess like people at school and stuff talking about Goldberg and all this kind of stuff. And I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, he's cool and all, but then I see Jericho do the list. I'm seeing Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero and all these guys. I'm like, I don't know much about what I'm watching, but I know these guys are better than like the guys that come out at the main event. Like they just are.
Yeah, that's fair. I like to hear Kevin Nash talk. I didn't really like to watch him wrestle that much, but on the other hand, there was many guys that I love to watch wrestle. Like I like to watch Disco Inferno wrestle. I do not want to hear that guy talk ever. But man,
I love DDP though as well.
DDP was awesome. Also, not a guy I want to hear talking, but I did want to see him wrestle. Yep, he was good.
Which is funny because he used to be a manager, and you're like, stop talking.
yeah, Diamond Stud, man. He was the original guy that brought Scott Hall in. It's wild.
Yeah.
I like Scott
I
Hall
love
too, man. He was great.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I see. I saw his Razor Ramon stuff on VHS like after, because like a video store had lots of old WCW and WWF like pay-per-view videos. So I saw a lot of his Razor stuff later, and that was great. And he was great as Scott Hall too, man. Like yeah. Talk about a guy who should have been world champion that never was, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty.
I
good
don't
run,
think
though.
it matters. That motherfucker was getting paid.
Yeah,
And he had the charisma at the ass too. So
he helped
great.
other wrestlers get paid too. You know, I mean, I know he was not a good guy necessarily. Maybe at the end he was, but you know, he was looking out for himself. But he also got a lot of other guys paid. So,
look, there was a sense of everyone's out for themselves, especially in WCW. But it's wrestling in general, isn't it? Like,
yes, definitely. So,
like even today, like, come on, man. No one's gonna sell your t-shirts for you. Get in the fucking area and pimp your shirts out, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's always that bit of hustling, and part of that is that you've got to project the idea that you're the fucking best. Because if you don't, no one's gonna come buy a shirt if you say, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm kind of average." What? I'm mid card. I mean, I know that, but I don't need to hear you say that to me. Like,
you're a wrestler. You're always working, brother. That's how it goes. You know.
That's right. I think Jericho said it, but I think a lot of wrestlers have said it. Like, you've got to be like at least part douchebag in order to kind of get far or make it in wrestling. And I think there's some
that entertainment in general, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Hey, you made it when many people didn't, and you got to step on some
we
people
are
to get
so
there.
popular. You know, it's because of how big of assholes we are. That's why. we don't mind. We'll step on any of them. You know.
Yeah.
On our way down.
Yeah. Hey, we're not walking up the stairs, we're walking down the stairs, and our stairs are made of Schmamschmer and Chris Charlton and
yeah, man. Well, I don't know. So we got Genesis coming up. That's in a week. So who knows? Maybe we'll do a preview. We were supposed to do that, but then we wanted to talk about other stuff. So we don't got time to do a preview and all that other stuff tonight. So,
are you fucking serious? No.
Yeah.
Remember those headphones I was looking for?
Yeah, they're right there, huh?
I'm going to tell Charity that as soon as we're done here, and she, rightfully so, is going to make fun of me and laugh in my face. And I don't have to go up there and tell her that this happened. She could wait for this podcast to come out.
It's also recorded, yeah. So okay, good point.
You know, and she'll eventually hear it and be like, But now, as the good husband I am, she gets to laugh at me twice because I'm going to show her that the headphones were draped over this chair the whole time, and she'll hear it here and be like, "Oh yeah, my husband's a fucking idiot sometimes." Like, yeah, yep. Oh, you got to take it on the chin when you're a dummy, you know.
Yeah, you grew up watching The Simpsons so much, man. You know, you're just getting into it yourself. You know, there's a Homer Simpson moment for sure.
Yeah,
but he would never admit he was wrong though, so that's okay.
No. Oh my god! So yes, we will talk some. Absolutely, we'll talk some New Japan very soon. But you know, this might be the never realm we've done in a while.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's always so.
We got to talk some Kevin Smith next episode, I guess, because next episode of Never Realm will be episode 37.
Oh yeah, of Never Realm. You mean?
Yeah.
Because we're coming up on 300.
That's right.
It's like this might be it. I don't know.
Are you serious? We're doing the 300th episode right now?
This might be it, or maybe next one. I'm not sure. I saw something recently on the little doohickey when I was uploading it, and then I just forgot about it. So until just now.
See, if we hadn't have shit on Chris Schmamschmer, he would have told us weeks ago when we.
That's fun. I don't think he knows who we are, and that's fine.
Nah. Well, no.
Shout out to Chris Bay, by the way. Chris Bay.
Oh, dude.
They did a whole thing on TNA where he walked to the ring and stood in the ring, and it was that's cool, man. Good for him. I hope they give him a job forever, because he should get a job forever with them if that's what he wants, you know. But there's apparently a big interview out there. I haven't watched it yet, but good for him for being back. That sucks, man. You know, when somebody goes down like that, like it's every wrestler feels that. The fans feel it too, but I feel like every wrestler is like, fuck, that could be me, man. You know what I mean? And seeing him back in the ring is like very symbolic, and important. So I'm glad they did that.
I've seen the clip of him just walking to the ring, man. Loved it. Yeah. And that's like something they said he might never do again. Like he had like a 10-20% chance. Speaking of percentages, Charity was telling before. Sorry, just this one more story before we wrap it up. Charity was like, "All right, there's replacement buses instead of normal trains from the city to the country town, Maui/Newborough. But if I get this bus that takes me to Pakenham where I get the train, it'll arrive here at this time, but the replacement bus might have been gone already. So, like, what do I do? Do I take this one and get food now or whatever? You know what? I'm going to risk it and all this kind of stuff." And I just wrote to her because she's telling me all these numbers and, like all this stuff. And I get the gist, but there's too many numbers and my eyes are glazing over a little bit. And I just wrote back to her, what if you add Kurt Angle to the mix? And she's like, that's right. Then the odds drastic go down. That's what she wrote back to me. The odds drastic go down.
Wow.
She knows that promo. And hey, long story short, she made the replacement bus. That was all good.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I mean, yeah, Kurt Angle in the mix. You know what happens. So, I mean, that's pretty great.
Odds drastic go down.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Oh man, that was fucking fun.
You feel better?
Yeah. You have to whinge about timetables and schedules and kids in media.
I know.
Get them out of here.
Get
How
them
dare
out.
they earn a living?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
How dare they know what they want to do? And I'm a 42-year-old man who's like, I want to be when I grow up. I'm like, bitch, you're halfway through. Anyway, in Will Robinson we trust. Yeah, let's do that.